Okay, now we get to get into it. Okay, what do we have? We have a lot of options. And also, we have Derek. Alright, what do we want? Growing? I guess we're growing. We've been growing. We grew a lot between this part and last part. Family? Who wants family time? I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of Lizzie being a teenage girl. Or do we want to go on a road trip? Do you want to go with our family on a crazy road trip, Mommy? I'm sure Mommy is in most of these. Alright, there's probably gonna be more Mommy in the family. Either family or road trip. That's where there will be most Mommy. I guess we'll do family. No, we'll do road trip. Yes, we'll do road trip. Let's all go on a road trip. Even though you were awake, the sun had barely peeked its head above the horizon, and the sky above was still dark, though lighting by the minute. Usually, you wouldn't be up so early, especially during summer vacation, but today was different. Today, instead of the lazy days you were used to, everything around you was a flurry of activity. Both you, your family, and Cove prepared for what lay ahead. It was parked in the street, just outside your house, was a massive RV. So big you couldn't even see Cove's house behind it. Damn. Oh, we're all going. Ew, reminds me of traveling to Florida. Yeah, but you didn't go in an RV. This is probably going to be way more comfortable. Parents had rented the RV for a few days to take them on a short road trip to see Redwood National Park. He glanced at Cove, who was standing nearby, taking in the scene in front of him. The prospect of the trip had to be a mixed bag for him, but it was only 3 days, so it seemed he was dealing with it as best he could. Can't leave Cove behind. Oh, what are you talking about? It's his road trip! He's leaving us behind! Especially now that you and your family were joining them. You weren't sure how exactly it happened. You knew your parents and Cove spoke to each other often, and somewhere along the way, plans were made after Cliff offered to share the space. I mean, if it's that massive, might as well. Parents all thought it was a fantastic idea. You had already gotten a good look inside while helping to load everything in, and you had to admit that while it was a really big car, fitting that many people inside was going to be snug.
Let's go.
Move it or lose it, kiddo. Otherwise, I'm going to take your spleen. Last one in the RV gets their spleen ripped out. Mom bustled past with a cooler in one hand and a large bottle of water under the other. She was upbeat for this early in the morning. Ooh, Mom, not a morning person. It's a romance. You need the love interest to come. I keep forgetting this is a romance. Why do you all make me do romance? Mom's neck's so long. Hey, don't make her self-conscious about her neck. I'm sure she's very proud of the size of her neck. But again, why do y'all make me play dating sims? Why do y'all make me play love stories? You know this stuff is gross. There's Mommy. She's in her... She's in a robe. She looks so comfy. I'm so jealous. Why can't we go in a robe? You make yourself do romance? Okay, this game was a suggestion to me. The game was suggested to me. I don't know what you want. Ma, however, seemed to be on the other side of the wavelength. Followed behind her wife, dragging her feet on every step. They are married. Okay. They don't wear rings, though. I'm going to need a whole jug of coffee once we hit the road. Could relate to Ma. It was way too early. Personally, you were rearing to go as your mom. Felt like you were middle ground. Nope. I'm tired. You bring me up this early? No, I don't want to. I don't want to. You yawned and rubbed your eyes, still sleepy from the early morning wake-up call. The air outside was still damp from dew that helped make you a bit more alert. You don't have to do all suggestions, so only blame yourself. Don't tell me who I can and cannot blame. You know what? Now I blame you. I blame you, Lynn. It's all your fault. And then At the end of the chain came your sister. She had a bone to pick before the trip officially started. Rattling off critiques added some level of normalcy to everything new going on. Ugh. Of course, the first thing out of her mouth is, ugh. I don't get why I can't sleep in the bed tonight. 22 is the youngest, and I'll never fall asleep on that loft. God, stop crying. We're trying to make things fair on everyone. If you want to play the older card, you should be offering to take the loft both nights. It's important for both big siblings to make sacrifices for the younger ones. Elizabeth huffed, not happy with that answer in the slightest, folded her arms, leaning back against the side of the RV. Trip plans had been nailed down prior, the sleeping arrangement included. Elizabeth still held on to her objections with them. Yeah, you're supposed to sacrifice for me. I'm the little one. Is not a good answer. It's not a good answer. There was a main area of the RV with a couch, loft, and some floor space. At the end of the car was a room with a large bed. Wait, so where is she sleeping? Did she sleep on a air mattress? I don't know. Your moms were sharing the bed. Kira was on the couch, and father's son intended to sleep on the floor. The adults determined you and Elizabeth would switch between the small loft above the driver's seat and sharing the bed with moms. Aww. Rights for Lizzie. Protest. I thought that said protes. I'm just like, protes? The hell is protes? It's okay, I just can't read. T's also don't exist. You're fine with the arrangements. No, I don't want to sleep with moms. You're excited to sleep in a loft. Felt sharing a bed with your parents was gonna be awkward. Yeah, I agree. That would be awkward. Loft sounds better. Yeah, sleeping between the moms? No. Also, not fun. You weren't a kid anymore, and yet you were gonna have to sleep next to your moms? They assured you that they'd try to give you space for the one night you had to share, but you were still not pleased. Alright, you lot. Does everyone have everything they need? We're heading out in 5 minutes. Now's the time to double check. You don't want to forget something important. At the words, Elizabeth yelped and dashed back into the house, her bedhead hair bouncing behind her as she went. Could be cramped. Ma came over and gave you a smile, setting her hands on her hips. How about you, 22? Do you have all your clothes packed? Toiletries, deodorant, floss, anything else you can think of? Oh, you had to run back inside or something. I probably do. Spinning up the stairs to the bathroom, you grabbed your toothbrush from beside the sink before heading back down. You were glad you were reminded to grab it after having left it out to use this morning. Would have been embarrassing if you couldn't brush your teeth for the next few days. Yeah, can't have some stank breath for the next few days. Or we could just borrow someone's toothbrush. It's comfy in the bed, but you're free. I know. I get freedom away from everyone. No one can touch me. Your mom was still there, waiting with a knowing expression as you walked out again. Got everything I was waiting to? Yeah. I got it. I got everything. We're good. With a few minutes left to spare before leaving, you mentally went over what you had packed for the trip. Clothes, pillow, blanket, usual day-to-day gear for most people. You also had more personal things, such as portable gaming console, a bag of makeup, read? We don't read. What are you talking about? Of course we have a game. Drive to Redwood National Park would take an entire day one way. They wanted to make sure you had a way to entertain yourself while traveling there and back. Camera? An MP3 player? Sure, yep. So much time going to be spent driving in a car. I wanted to make sure you'd be able to have some music to put on. Maybe a ball? A bag of makeup or a ball? Screw it. I'll take the makeup. You kind of dreaded the idea of trying to apply it nicely while in a cramped RV, but it was something you wanted to keep on hand. Music is important. I agree. I think that's everything. I think we're good with that. Hello. Cool glasses. I like them. Hey, let me take that for you, 22. I'll start in the RV. There's a few spots left off. They don't fit. Let Kara take your bag and gave her a grateful smile. with nothing left to do. He watched the others getting ready for the trip. Okay, why is she Kira? But Mr. Holden is Cove's dad. Just no one respects Cove's dad. I think it's because he came up to us. Our first meeting was him being a fucking creep. Cause she's cool, that's why. Yeah, that's Cove's mom. She lets us call her Kira. She lets us call her by her first name. Kira and Cliff seem to have the most energy of anyone. They're finishing packing the suitcases away while your moms had gone to lock up the house. They high-fived whenever another one got crammed into the storage compartments of the vehicle. Even though your own parents were more low-key than Cove's, you could tell they were both excited for the trip. It had been a while since your family had been away anywhere together. Elizabeth skipped toward the RV, bag slung over her shoulder. You were surprised to see she seemed more optimistic about the whole ordeal than anything. Usually, she wasn't one to exit the confines of her room unless it was for TV or food, or to leave her family behind to be with friends. You would have thought 3 whole days packed in an RV with 6 others would be too much for her, but it was a nice surprise. Supposed any vacation was better than no vacation in her mind. Cove had been pretty quiet so far, and more than anything, seemed to be overwhelmed by the situation. Yeah, I can imagine. He doesn't like people that much. You excited for the trip too? Sure. I get to hang out with Cove the entire time. It was great to get away and explore new places. Soon, the miscellaneous remaining tasks had all been wrapped up. Everyone piled into the RV. It was officially time for the trip to start. Yay! And it did. Cliff took the first shift driving. He cautiously navigated the massive car out of narrow neighborhood streets. It was touch and go for the first part of the journey. Your moms and Kara were all huddled at the front, trying to get view of how much space they had on each side. There was a sense of relief when the first long leg of the trip was hit, and the RV would only need to go down one stretch of highway for miles. The mom group cleared out of the driver's area, leaving Cove's dad to it, taking more comfortable seats around the main cabin. Felt like you could finally relax now, too. Yes, stretch out. We're going to take our loft. We're going to take time in our loft. Time slipped by as morning faded away. Before you realized it, the engine of the RV came to a stop. It only halted for a few moments as Cliff climbed out from the driver's seat and Mom took over. Ma was sitting in the shotgun, giving Mom a quick tutorial on the controls. This was her first time driving anything this large. And when they say shotgun, they meant literally. Ma has a shotgun. Why does Ma have a shotgun? We don't know. Why did Mom insist on bringing her shotgun? We may never find out. Cliff groaned as he headed toward the rest of you, stretching his arms above his head, loosening up his muscles. See, again, he's Cove's dad. But Cove's mom is Kira. Okay. There's no respect for Cove's dad. We're making good progress. Yeah, maybe you should take a nap in the back for a while. Please, go away. Disappear for a bit. Nobody likes you. That was a long haul you just did, and I know you're on less sleep than usual. Cliff waved a hand, that trademark grid on his slipping into place. I don't need to sleep. Still got a few miles in the old tank. Flexed an arm, showing off his muscles to drive, pointing about how resilient he was at home. Kara rolled her eyes in amusement. Cosette has ugly glasses? Not the worst glasses I've ever seen. Oh, Ma's holding the shotgun for Mom. Dad, everyone has to sleep. Cove groaned at the tough guy act, so Cliff simply chuckled and ruffled his son's hair.
So?
Are you going to be driving again anytime soon, Mr. Holden? I want to know so I can prepare. Did anyone pack some rope? I might need it. There's no seatbelts up here. Ha! He's gonna get them killed. Elizabeth called down from where she was lounging in the loft above the driving compartment. She was laying on her back, her hair falling over the side and swinging around as the RV started up again, took off down the road. A bag of potato chips was balanced on Elizabeth. I thought that said blanched. I'm just like, what? There was a bag of potato chips blanched on Elizabeth's stomach. She tossed a couple in her mouth right as Cliff held a hand to his chest, preparing to be offered by the remark. Kira laughed lightheartedly. Am I just hungry? Do I need to eat? Is that why I'm using cooking terms right now? It's the only way to eat them. Blanched. Eat? Nah, it's too late. I've already started. I'm not taking a break to eat. I'll eat when I'm done. I can eat when I'm dead. It's fine. Lucky for all of us, we had enough adults to cover the shifts today. Won't be driving again until tomorrow. He stayed quiet, shook her head at the ribbing. Phew, that's a relief. Just enough time. I don't remember what we're even talking about. Liquid fuel. Exactly. That's how I survive. When aren't I hungry? First off, I'm never hungry. I eat for fun. I don't need to eat. Shouldn't gang up with the poor guy. No, we definitely should. It's not his driving I'm worried about. Just enough time to write up my last will and testament. Yay! Not you too. Of course me too. We all have to pick on you. Feed me tofu. Thank you? I appreciate it. The rest of the group laughed while Cliff pouted, and he gave him an apologetic shrug. Mom then shouted back at her seat to join the conversation, a playful smile tickling her lips. What I'm more worried about is the old monster getting us there and back again before falling apart. Didn't you guys rent it? Let it fall apart, it's fine. It looks as though it was built in the early 90s. Must be older than some of the occupants. Wait, so we're in the 2000s. Good to know. Just the aesthetic of the decor. It's not that old. I think. Did you ask what year the model was before you rented it? I think all you need to do is, like, open the driver's side door and it should tell you on the door. Kira wrinkled her nose and thought, or they removed it because they don't want you to know how old it is. Hey. Yes, I did. I just can't remember what the answer was. Cliff chuckled at her, while the rest of you let out a collective sigh. Ugh. The RV lurched a little as it picked up speed, and you held onto the ladder for the loft to keep your balance. Felt something graze the top of your head before the weight settled on your purple hair. When you tilted your chin up carefully to look, you heard the rustling of a bag of chips and realized Elizabeth had rested the end of it on your head. Rude? Only 90s, and it's older than you, and you're a teenager? I know, right? Math it up. Wait. Yeah, that means it could totally be the 2000s. It could be... Who does math on the weekend? Exactly. This is not math time. We don't do math here. But no, early 90s is like 91, 92, and I'm probably like 13. That means it would only be 2005, 6? Thank you. I know how to math. You don't know how to math. He gestured to the opening, slightly offering to share a snack. Took a handful. Reaching up, you scooped up some chips. After the weight of the packet, you left your scalp. You happily munched away as the conversation continued on, and you got closer and closer to your destination. 2007? Yeah, something like 2007. The date. You were born in 94. Wait, when did we learn that? Oh, no. You did the math. Yeah. I see. I made it up. Okay. I thought you knew something we didn't. I'm just like, when did we learn that? When did we learn any of these years? Because it's older than you. Nothing's older than me. I'm ancient. The day flew by, with a group of you chatting, playing games, and passing time together before finally arriving at the park, standing up for the night. Ma was closing the windows while everyone got ready for bed, saying goodnight to the others as she made her way to the back room. You had all had dinner together while still driving, and some hours after had arrived. at your destination, found a spot to park in for the rest of your stay. Giving a look across the front of the RV, you noticed almost everyone there was already dozing off where they were, with Cove having completely fallen asleep, curled up in the passenger seat. Must have done so while Kira was driving the last leg, and had decided not to disturb him. Kira herself was the only one up there who was still awake, flipping through a magazine next to the portable light from her spot on the couch. Seeing Mr. Holden needed to sleep despite his claims. Am I easy to trick? Yes. That is true. I'm always confused and never know what's going on. Followed your moms into the back room, closed the door behind you before crawling into bed between them. Oh, see, this is why you guys are little gremlins. Why do you like tricking me? It was a queen-size bed. There was enough space for the three of you together without too much squishing.
Good night.
Get a good rest, 22. Got a big day ahead of us tomorrow. Please don't squish me, Moms. Moms, I don't want to be squished.
That's fantastic.
I'm looking forward to the bushwalking in the morning. It's been a long time since I was out in nature like this. I don't think Ma has ever been in nature. He doesn't seem like the type. There will be plenty for us to see. Stayed awake for a little while longer, while your moms whispered about the park and the forest in general. With the sound of their voices in the background, eventually, you nodded off to sleep. Mom has a shotgun to keep you safe. Ma, can I cuddle with the shotgun tonight? It just makes me feel safe. It helps me fall asleep. The next morning, you were up bright and early, preparing for the day ahead. You slept well. Sure, I slept well because I got to cuddle with the shotgun. Fell asleep before you knew it, and had woken up rested. Ma whined a bit about the firmness of the mattress, but Mom had only encouraged her to enjoy the trip while she could. After we went to bed, they definitely murdered someone? Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely. They do this on a weekly basis. While looking for a spot to get ready, you had some trouble finding a space of your own, as the others were doing the same thing. Cove was perched on top of the counter, brushing his hair, tucking up his legs every time someone wanted to move past. Parents were checking, double-checking, and triple-checking that you had everything, to the point where you had stopped listening to them altogether. You knew you wouldn't be returning to the RV at all that day. By the look of the backpacks, they were packed up and ready to go. Doubted anything was missing from them. It didn't take much longer until you all exited the RV in a bustle and headed into the Redwood National Park. Wow. Holy shit. Fucking trees here, bruh. I haven't seen a tree in my entire life. Cove had his head tilted up toward the canopy of trees, his eyes wide as he took in the massive trunks on either side of you. You knew that the redwood trees here were considered the tallest trees on Earth, but you weren't prepared for exactly how huge they would be in person.
Come on.
Smile, you two. You spun just in time for Kira to snap a picture of you and Cove together, while she pointed her camera at Cliff, trying to get a shot despite his weak protest that she should just enjoy the moment. Okay, quest for you guys. Are you people that take pictures of everything, or do you like to just enjoy the moment that you're in? I very much forget to take pictures because I'm too busy just looking at stuff. But if I see like a really nice, I don't know, background? If I just see a really nice area that I like, I'll take a picture of it. Your parents were walking behind the group a little, with Mom telling Ma some information she had read about the park in a brochure. Ma listened happily while looking around and taking in the sights, every now and then asking a question or making a joke about something Mom had said. Like pictures to remember things better? Yeah, it's helpful. Otherwise, how do you know that you even did that thing, right? You smiled at them, thinking your moms must have read a lot of pamphlets to know so much about the park. Maybe you should come and work here as a tour guide if you know so much about the place. Elizabeth teased, earning a squeeze on the nose from your mom. Seemed to be enjoying herself, but you thought that might just be because she was amused by everyone else's reactions. You were in awe of the redwood trees. You were fascinated by the sensations surrounding you, I am quite fascinated. You were in a good mood. You weren't as impressed as the others. You were embarrassed that the adults were being so touristy. Yeah, I am being embarrassed by them, but I'm a little too fascinated by everything. Bird calls echoed all around you, and once or twice something would rustle in the underbrush. Strained your eyes through the trees for any sign of wildlife, and managed to catch a glimpse of a rabbit bounding through the foliage. The adults had decided on some casual nature walks, rather than any serious hiking. You strolled along at your own pace, taking in the scenery. Elizabeth sped up a little, striking a Cove as she fell into place between the two of you, and immediately you could tell by her expression she was going to say something taunting. Rude? Why is she so rude? I can't believe our families are actually on vacation together. Threw her arms out, speaking with a genuine sense of bewilderment. I would have joked about something like this happening, but now I'm not sure I want to give them any more ideas. Heh. Yes, don't give them any more ideas. We don't want people to think that we like each other. Cove ignored her completely and continued walking along. Just watch. Next year they'll be talking about their next new amazing idea. Put on a fake voice, deeper than her own. We should just sell both of our houses, move in together. Think of how much we'd save on the mortgage. It was clear that Elizabeth was being sarcastic. Cove simply shook his head, not really bothered by her. I suppose he was used to it by this point. Family hunting trip? Yay! No! No hunting. Leave the animals be. But seriously, they really do act like we're a single family, just because we live across the street from each other. Elizabeth gave you and Cove a look, her eyes glinting with mischief as she leered at you. Oh god, what do you have? What are you thinking? What are we doing now? Let's hunt Cove? Damn! Harsh. I'm down.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll be related. Legally, anyway. It said as though she was a gossipy old lady. Oh, ew. Maybe. Guess you and me could get married, Elizabeth. Ha! What? Me? Yeah, that way 22 would be my sibling-in-law. That would be fun. Elizabeth stuck her tongue out at Cove, as if the very idea were ridiculous. How dare. Save a mortgage. You and Cove share a room. That doesn't sound bad. I like Cove, and he's quiet. Told her to cut it out, right? Cove has a point. It wasn't a great comment. I'll marry you, Cove. We're embarrassed. No, I think he has a point. He sneaks out at night. He sneaks out at night. He could just as easily marry you. Well, actually, you need two people's consent for a marriage, and there is no way I'd ever agree to that. Really? Never? That's breaking my heart. Ah, this is adorable. Elizabeth poked out her tongue at both of you, giving you a sour look. She walked ahead, obviously not getting the responses she was looking for, and you and Cove swapped amused looks. Good. I love messing with Elizabeth. They continued on, planning to see and experience. Past a few different activities that you would have liked to try out if you had the time, such as kayaking and rock climbing, but Ma said that would have to wait for another trip. There was a little stream during the walk that you sat beside, sat at a picnic for lunch, nibbling on a selection of fruit, sandwiches, and chips. Elizabeth would murder Cove. She would. She absolutely would. She'd beat the crap out of that boy. Various birds flew by overhead. He made a game out of guessing the species that were hanging out in the trees nearby. He even managed to get a couple of them right, including the kingfisher that grabbed half of Cliff's sandwich. What the hell is a kingfisher? Does anyone know what that is? I want to know now. What does that look like? Kingfisher. It's pretty. It's blue. It's like blue and yellow. Oh, it's a very pretty bird. He's so lucky. Wait. You're glad you got to do this in the end. You're disappointed to only have one day in the park. Thought the long term wasn't what only one day here. You have more fun hanging out in the RV? No, I'm glad. This was fun. And I got to see a really cool bird. Definitely a special experience. One you'd remember for a long time to come. We're gonna go bird watching. Let's go bird watching, guys. Get your binoculars. Correctly identified it. Yay. Smile to yourself, committing the sights and sounds to memory. The group made it back to camp just as the sun was setting in the sky. The stars were appearing one by one. Everyone had enjoyed different parts of it most. You traded stories of what you thought while you were eating dinner. Then afterwards, you pitched in to help clean up. Oh my god, when did Umi get here? Jesus. Scaring the shit out of me. Hi, welcome in. You, along with Elizabeth and Cove, got to head back to the RV early. Spent some time together while the parents stayed out longer. Tired? Aw, Umi's tired. Well, Umi, wake up. We need to pay attention. Everyone's here for Mommy. Everyone's here to see Ma. It was nice to have the space to yourselves after the cramped journey there. While Elizabeth had locked herself in the back room with her headphones, you and Cole were left in the main lounge area. You headed up to the loft to relax on your own? No, I'm hanging out with Cove. We barely hung out. Might as well get comfortable. Who knows how long they'll be out for. Took a seat on the sofa. Why are you so close? Why are you so close? Please, I need you to take like a full step back. Took a seat on the sofa while Cove sat down on the other end, tapping his fingers against his knees. You know, I hardly ever see you wearing a jacket, especially in summer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like wearing a few layers as possible. It's easier that way. I'd rather be cold than extra hot. It's kind of a pain to carry extra clothes around. Parents made me bring this jacket. In the same way. I do like wearing layers. I like layers and accessories. I like it. Probably why I have a closet almost filled with room at home. Cole smiled lightly at you and nodded. You didn't start serving drinks until you had to close? Damn. Umi works hard. You are the best. And the greatest. I've noticed. You changed the subject. You asked him what he'd like to see others wear. Oh. I'm trying to, like, skip it. I want to see. I want to know. Hey, what kind of things do you think are nice to see on other people? Cole's eyes widened at the question, and his defensive reply seemed to slip out before he had the chance to have a proper think about it. Nothing. Cole wants to see everyone wear nothing. Oh, Umi's gotta have an even worse day at work. No, I'm sorry, Umi. Make all the people go away. Tell them to shut up. Tell them to leave you alone. Put up a little sign that says, be back at 5. Except, no, be back at 5 a.m. Poor Umi, you will survive. We believe in you, Umi. You got this. Come on, that's not what I meant. I don't know, sir. I don't know, little boy. I think that's exactly what you meant. Posed yourself and sat up straighter. All traces of laughter disappearing from your face. I can't call him a little boy. He is tall. He's a tall boy. I keep forgetting how tall Cove is. Answer with, what do you mean then? Isn't there anything at all you think looks good when you see it on someone? Cove mumbled under his breath. He couldn't quite catch the words. He was having a difficult time with the subject. Something made him become comfortable, so you let it go. You're not very good at these conversations, are you? I swear I won't make fun of you. I swear I won't make fun of you. That's not really it. Secretly beat up the people that try to buy a drink? You know what? You're right. Violence is the answer. I agree. Cove seemed pretty grumpy about your statement, but you weren't ready to give it up so easily. Please? Cove sighed and looked down at his lap where he was fidgeting with his hands, still reluctant to give an answer.
I don't know.
I don't know. made an unimpressed sound over how this was going. Are you sure? Maybe? I don't know why you'd want to talk about that with somebody else. Cove was never one to gab on about himself, and you were almost convinced he'd stubbornly hold out. And then, his shoulders slumped, and he caved into your questioning. Fine, I guess I kind of like ankle bracelets. Ankle bracelets? Yeah, everyone can wear a pretty bracelet. Wrist ones are cool too, but they're pretty normal. There's something fun or flirty about ankle bracelets.
I mean...
It's more special or something. I don't know how to explain it. Aww. Cove brushed his knuckles against his cheek awkwardly, seeming unsure where to go from here. Thanks for answering. I like them too. So you think they're sexy? So you think they're sexy? What? No, I can't believe you'd even use the word to describe it. You called them flirty, sir. You called them flirty. Cove had been absolutely scandalized by your statement, and you could only laugh. When he said nothing else, you took a moment to gather your own thoughts. You had to get an anklet on ASAP? No. Maybe you'd wear your anklets more now. No, I won't. Maybe you wouldn't wear anklets so often. Thought about buying an anklet of your own. We're happy to hear more about Cove, but didn't really change anything. Cove's opinions hadn't had an impact on your own thoughts on the accessory. Cove looked away again, feeling awkward about this. Aww. They are cute. I haven't seen an ankle bracelet in a long time. Do people still wear those? Gave him an understanding look. Soon enough, he was smiling like normal again.
Alright.
Wow. Now you have to answer too. What do you like for another person? Huh. I don't care for muscles or blue eyes. I do like some nice hair and glasses. I don't know. What do you guys like? Yes, we're all gonna beat up Umi's job. That's what we're doing now. Beat up Umi's job. Oh, Lynn wears ankle bracelets? Fun. Hair? Alright, we'll go with hair. Fun hair is always nice. I like fun hair. Cove chuckled, as though you had said something highly amusing. Good luck. Hope you find someone. With that topic abruptly dropped off, Cove officially had no more to say on it. Does that mean no one has good hair? Everyone has ugly-ass hair? Parents all arrived soon after. I mean, they're all dyed. They all have dyed hair. And I never see their roots. So, I think everyone just have, like, terrible hair. Because they're constantly dyeing their hair. Like, every day. Parents all arrived soon after. Each of them climbing into the RV and finding some place to sit down and rest their legs. Cove doesn't? No, Cove definitely dyes his hair every day. Everyone is wearing a wig. Yes, everyone's actually wearing a wig. Nobody has good hair in this town. That's a natural color. His natural color is green. No, I like that everyone's wearing a wig. We're going with that. Elizabeth, having heard the commotion, came out from the room after the first time since arriving and joined you all. Bedtime arrived within a blink of an eye. As the group hunkered down for the night, your mom did a final round to be sure nothing had left behind. She explained that Cliff was going to start driving early in the morning, like on the first day, but would be letting everyone else in the group sleep. There wouldn't be a need for all of them to get up. Now was the time to check. You haven't left anything outside. You, as well as everyone else, were confident that you had it all packed up inside the RV. When it was time to get some rest before the journey home tomorrow. Your moms and Elizabeth said goodnight, heading to the back room while you climbed up into the loft. Cove and his family got situated below in the previously set arrangement. You tried to get comfortable as a million thoughts were running through your mind. It was hard to believe that the trip was practically over, and before you knew it, you'd be back in your own bed at home. Just imagine Cove's dad just looking for long hair wigs. That'd be fun. Why don't we have that as an adventure? Everyone going wig shopping. Enjoyed this mini adventure. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. You would do that. It was short, that was for sure. Did you get to see and do much during your time here? All in all, it was a nice break away from home. The minutes ticked by silently. It didn't take long for the soft snores of Cliff and Kira to drift up to you. They were asleep now. You wonder if Cove was still awake and decided to poke your head out from the loft to find out. Blink through the dark. Looking down the hall, you notice Cove laying on his back, his eyes staring straight up at the ceiling. His seafoam hair was spread out in a sleeping bag. Must have felt you watching him, because suddenly his eyes locked on yours. It was difficult to see him. It was difficult to see much in the dim light, but you could make out the crooked smile on his face well enough. You grinned back at him, made a silly face. Sure, we'll grin. Cove shrugged in his bed while still smiling, or at least you thought he did. Then gestured for him to come over. You decided to have fun quietly. Everyone's trying to go to sleep. Leave him be. Buried yourself under a blanket, pulled out your game console as silently as possible. While hidden away in your own little spot, spent your not sure how long getting some extra time to enjoy yourself. But at some point, your eyes grew heavy, and you gently drifted off into a deep sleep. When you woke up the next morning, it was to the rumble of the RV as it traveled the long journey home. Still blinking sleepily, you peeked over the edge of the loft to get a glimpse at what was happening. Cove was sitting with his mom on the couch, two of them talking quietly. Must have noticed you moving around up there, because Cove's ocean blue eyes snapped to yours and gave you a smile. Morning, 22. Good morning, Cove. Soon your moms and Elizabeth emerged from their room, dressed and ready for the day of travel. Spent most of the day hanging out together in the RV, savoring the last few hours of vacation. Kira suggested a few different travel games she used to play with Cove when she was younger, and you all had a great time competing against each other. When the RV finally pulled into your... So we spent 2 days driving and 1 day at the park. Totally worth it. You were looking forward to crawling into your bed after the last few days away. Everyone else must have been feeling the same, because it was mutually agreed that unpacking and cleaning the RV would wait until morning. Clean? We're barely in the thing. It was 2 days. Once home again, you went straight up to your room and dropped into your bed. Well, 3 days. It was 3 days. Shoes and all. You're happy to be in your own bed. Yeah, it's good to be alone. After 3 days squashed together in the RV like a can of sardines, having your own private space again felt great. Those last few thoughts drifting through your mind, it wasn't long before you dozed off to sleep. Tomorrow, life would get on as normal. That you left a bunch of trash in the RV. Yes, I did. And I did it on purpose. I want them to know that their RV is trash. That was fun. And we got to see Mommy in a robe. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Do we want more mommy time? Do you want more family time? Creepy? What's creepy? Seeing Ma in a robe? How's that creepy? She came out like that. She was out in the world in a robe. Just the way you said it. Oh my god. Why y'all take things the wrong way? Why y'all take it like that? My god. Anyway. You know what? What's for dinner? I want to know what's for dinner. Sunlight shone through the windows as you sat in your living room, your home phone pressed to your ear. Cove was on the other end. It's shaping up to be an ordinary day, like any other, till Cove had called unexpectedly. Why do you have to say it in the creepiest way? I didn't! I totally didn't. That's you. You're being creepy. Sounded unusually nervous greeting you. You listened silently as he kept talking, his words stilted. So, I was just, wondering, you want to come over to my house for dinner tonight? The question came out strangely, almost like he'd rehearsed it a few times beforehand. Your eyes widened a little. You hadn't expected this to be the reason behind the call. Yeah, I'll go. Sure, let's do it. It was, oh. It seemed that Cove still had more to say. He just interrupted him. Oops. Whoopsie. Cool. Well, stumbled for a bit, trying to gather his thoughts again. My mom and dad, they really want you to be there. Your parents don't have a problem with it. They asked me to ask you. He took a moment to think. Dinner at home would be quiet and uneventful today. If you really wanted to, you could go to Cove's instead. Cove spoke up again, breaking your thought train. His voice was softer than before. Also, I want you to be there too. Can you come over? I mean, yeah, I can come. Yeah, no problem. Thanks, 22. I'll let them know when I can. Sounded noticeably relieved by your response. Was you coming over for a dinner today that serious? Spoke to you for a little while longer. I'll explain what time to come over and other details, then hung up. And that was that. For now, anyway. Soon enough, the sun dipped out of the sky and evening came. Time for you to head to Cove's house. After letting Elizabeth know you were leaving, she didn't look away from the TV, just grunted. Made the small journey across the street. Knocked a couple of times on the heavy door in their condo. As you waited for an answer, found yourself contemplating being a guest while both of Cove's parents were there. It was exciting? You were apprehensive. But you couldn't say you were thrilled. It was exciting, I guess? I don't know. I know them pretty well. It's whatever. We had thought today was going to be boring, but it turned out to be much more interesting. Didn't get too much time with your thoughts, though. The door opened soon enough. Cove's mom, Kira, stood in the frame, smiling warmly at you.
Come on.
Hey, number 22. Welcome. Please come in. He opened the door wider and moved to make room. You stepped inside, allowing her to shut it behind you. Thanks so much for coming over. I know it was kind of last second. It's fine. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Of course. Just make yourself at home. It's not my home, but I've been given permission to say that. Yay. Hey, 22. Welcome to our humble abode. Have I never been here? You jerked your head toward the sound of Mr. Holden's voice. It came out of nowhere. Creepy as always. He waved at you briefly from the kitchen, his back turned to a large spoon in hand. Is this the first time we've been here? There's no way this is the first time we've been here. That is impossible. Hope you're hungry, because I'm whipping up a lot of tasty stuff. True to his word, you heard something sizzling on the stove. Closed your eyes and inhaled. You smelled spicy and savory. Mr. Holden busy and Cove nowhere to be seen. Just you and Kira. Gave you a wry smile. Don't look at me like that. You're looking very mischievous right now. I don't like it. He sure is. I've been barred from cooking the entire time, staying here. Can you believe that? He nudged you with an elbow. Mr. Holden scoffed good-naturedly, then spoke from over his shoulder. You're on vacation, Kira. You need to accept that already. She held back, amusement obvious on her face and in her tone. People still cook when they're on vacation. Everyone's gotta eat. It's not like I'm some celebrity who can go out for every meal or hire a private chef.
Sorry.
Well, in this house, you're a VIP. Kira smiled and shook her head quietly. Then she turned to face you once more.
Well,
Sorry about that, 22. Here, I was trying to strike up a conversation with you. I've just had to butt in. I don't butt in. He eyed him, chuckling in disbelief. He wasn't exactly disproving of her point with that. Kira leaned over to whisper to you. It's okay. He likes to be included. Since Clifford insisted on cooking all by himself, he'll have to wait. Two of us can chat. Next question continued to be said in a hushed tone, just to be safe.
so?
So how are you doing? I'm doing good. We're doing good. We're good. We're doing... Everything's cool. Just went on an RV trip. It was fun. That's what I like to hear. She opened her mouth to say something more, but some slight pounding footstep caught your attention. Cove's here! Yay! Checked out to see Cove emerge from the hall a few moments later. Might have heard all the commotion and left his room to see what was going on. Quickly took stock of the situation. 22. Hey, thanks for being here. You're welcome. There's nothing unusual about the words in his greeting, but you could tell something was wrong from the way he looked like he wanted to be anywhere but there. Hi, Cove. You doing okay? Yeah, I'm fine. He didn't sound convincing at all. You narrowed your eyes suspiciously, but didn't call him out on it. You could talk to him alone tonight. Maybe you'd ask him what was going on then. It was when you glanced away from Cove that you spied his parents watching the two of you interact. Cove noticed their stares, too, meeting them with narrowed eyes. What? He's almost never fine. That's true. He always has something going on. But also, I'd really like to know what this is about. Everyone's acting suspicious.
So...
Are we having dinner now? Why is he so uncomfortable right now? What is happening? Not yet, bud. I'm still cooking. Alright, I'm gonna go back to my room. As he turned to leave, he bent his head to the side to face you. Coming? We're probably shipping you? Wait, no! They're asking me to go on a date with their son. Please, no. The question was quiet, but you heard it clearly. You smiled, pleased that he asked, and nodded in the affirmative. Cove turned fully, to make his way down the hall. Have fun, you two. We'll call you when food's ready to go. With that, you followed after Cove. Two of you made your way down the hall. This is the first time you were invited to see Cove's room. Visited Cove's room before, but only rarely. I don't know. This feels like a rare... We had to have been here before. Here it's rare. Cove got the door first, opening it, stepping inside. You joined him. There was a mat on the floor in front of the door. As you stepped over the threshold to his room, you felt the crunch of sand beneath your feet. Sensation was nothing new to you, of course. Cove constantly came back to his room covered in sand, not bothering to clean himself off at the front door. Got it all over his personal space. That's just how he was. A little bit of a mess. Just a little bit. He's always slightly a mess. He hadn't heard Mr. Holden ever scold him for it. Not like your moms would have if you'd done it. You can sit wherever you want. Cove himself took a seat at the edge of his large bed, looking like the picture of comfort, and left you to decide. He didn't sit anywhere. Sat down on the chair. Yeah, we're close enough. I could sit next to him. Cove smiled when you made yourself at home beside him. You grinned back. A silence growing, your gaze began to drift. Stared at the bright fish swimming in the tank. I didn't even notice the fish tank. Looks cool. There was a bunch of them, floating to and fro in the open space. They stood out starkly against the green aquarium plants. How long have you had those fish?
I guess.
My dad bought them for me not very long after I moved here. I guess it's been years now. Wow, that's a long time. He peered carefully into the tank. Fish looked to be doing well. You must take good care of them. Most of them are small, but there was one especially big one. What are their names? I don't name them. Well, not really. Their names are Fish. They're all named Fish. He lifted an eyebrow at that. He continued to explain sheepishly. Mostly, I call them things based on what they look like. Squirt for a small one, tangerine for a really orange one, that sort of thing. Had a lot of fish, and I'm not that good at coming up with names. You found that funny. It's funny. I found that funny. Who knew that was a weakness of his? It was an entertaining revelation. Oh, a couple of them have other types of names. He pointed to a small orangish red fish. He was minding his own business, away from the others. My dad named her Dreamcatcher. That other one's Mark. Mom came up with that one. Poe smiled to himself, his eyes reflecting the glow from the tank. You let other people name your fish?
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice. He then turned to you, tilting his head to the side. There was a considering look on his face. You want to name one? Yeah, I do. The smile grew a little at your enthusiasm. Cool. There's a few who don't have names right now. The newer ones, you can pick which one you want to name. He pointed each of the recent acquisitions out to you. First was the smallest fish in the tank. It was completely orange and zipped all over the place, running laps around the others. Second was slightly bigger and red. Its tail was dotted with black spots, which almost resembled freckles. Last fish was the biggest one. Multicolored scale rippled under the bright light of the tank as it slowly made its way across the vast expanse. The little fish got the zoomies. You went with... His room is his room that big? His room's pretty big. He has such a big room. I'm gonna name the zippy one. Hopefully nodded your answer, waiting you to decide on a suitable name. You watched the fish you chose closely. As you did, the name eventually came to you. Frank? No. We're gonna call him... Bubble? No, we're not calling him Bubble. Calling him... Zoomy! Yeah! Alright, it's Zoomy. George? No! Can I go back? Okay. Hehe. George. Thank you, Umi. That is so much better. Alright, is George. With that, his attention moved from you to the tank. Peered fondly at it and his inhabitants. Our beloved George. Smiled proudly at George as it swam through the tendrils of the plants, disappearing and then reappearing soon after. You know, I'm not allowed to have pets in my house. Not even fish. The corner of Cove's lips turned down at that. That doesn't sound fair. It's not like fish would make a mess of your house or anything. You just gotta take care of their tank and feed them, and they'll be okay. It'll die. No! Don't let George die. Right? Laws can be strict over the weirdest things sometimes. They trust Elizabeth and me to go around the neighborhood alone, but they won't let us have a pet? It doesn't make sense. Fish are very annoying to take care of? I won't let it die. I'm not gonna kill the fish. No, I've killed many fish. That's a lie. I've killed many a fish. I'm a terrible fish owner. Maybe when you're even older, they'll let you? I don't know. Seem pretty against it. Maybe they just really hate fish for some reason. Maybe they're racist against fish? Current conversation brought to mind a memory from years ago. You launched into it without any warning, earning you a brief, confused look from Cove. One time, Elizabeth, came back from playing at the beach and just shut herself in her room. She only came down for food, and she ran back upstairs straight after. It was kind of weird. My moms didn't think much of it at first, though. Process of cleaning tanks are too much for kids. We're not like kids. We're teenagers. It's probably fine. But then at night, Mom went to her room to say goodnight and started screaming. Mom and I ran over to see what happened. Lizzie had this huge lizard in her arms. Aww, cute. Poe's eyebrows rose at that. Then he leaned forward in interest.
Really?
A lizard? Where'd that come from? Your mom told you yesterday that we aren't going to Texas? Aw. Well, that sucks. Why? Why is your trip canceled? What team wants to clean that? Listen, some kids are really into their pets. Some kids really like their pets. Some kids will actually take care of their pets. Elizabeth said she saw it in half buried in the sand. Didn't know what it was. Then she pulled it out and got the answer. So she brought it home. She hid the lizard in her room for most of the day because she wanted to keep it. Mom and Ma were not happy. They worried about putting it out during the night, but she was going to have to let it go in the morning. Lizzie was really upset. She did bring it back to the beach eventually, but she wouldn't talk to anyone for days. But she did get over it. It was almost like it never happened. You laugh, thinking back at that time. Elizabeth had always been stubborn. But when she was younger, we got grudges quickly. Now it wasn't so easy. Cancelled? We just didn't know if we were going. Aw. Said that no, we aren't. Aw. That sucks. Like Cove? Yeah, we just brought Cove home one day. And then our moms just let us keep him. Cove had been quiet for most of the story, apart from the reveal of the lizard. He had a thoughtful look on his face. Can't even imagine what it'd be like to have a sibling. He gave serious thought to his statement before you told him. Yeah, Umi's having a staycation. Staycations are nice. They're needed. It's fun. There are ups and downs. I don't know. There are ups and downs. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you want to punch your sibling in the face. Sibling rivalry is real. It's a real thing. It's fun to have her there when she wants to be there. Now Elizabeth barely feels like hanging out with me. Sad. Cove pursed his lips at the words, considering them quietly for a while. That's interesting. I think your family's full. Didn't have much else to say, though. While on the topic of your family, he considered your relationship with your moms, too. You get along with your moms. I get along with moms. I think they're trying to kill me, but besides that, they're fine. You had disagreements with them, but at the end of the day, you loved them, they loved you. That's what really mattered. And they didn't murder you. That's what really mattered. They didn't murder you yet. Well, say what you want about them, but at least your mom's never tried to pay someone to be your friend. Oh my god, you know about that? Oh wait, no, he doesn't know about that. He did not say that. Okay, we're good. We're good. He doesn't know, guys, we're good. You don't talk to your siblings? They're sad. I guess I don't talk to my siblings that much anyway. Or either. Yes. Thought prompted you to look over at Cove. You probably still didn't know what happened. Glad that Mr. Holden mentioned it, and you never had. You wondered if you should tell him. It was a long time ago. We're keeping it a secret from Cove. Absolutely not. We are absolutely not telling him. You didn't tell him. Just didn't want to have that talk with Cove. Yeah, that was a bad time. That was bad. No. You could bring it up some other day when the moment was right. No, I can't. That's never happening. No, I'm not telling him that. That is never going to happen. Ever. Tell him on your deathbed. Okay, that'd be hilarious.
Go. Come closer. I need you to tell you something. Before I met you, your dad, he tried to pay me $20 to be your friend.
Blah. That'd be amazing. You could tell him and then go back. I could do that, but I'm not. We're not telling Cove. That's not happening. I want to get that memory out of my head. I don't want to think about it. Why? Oh, you guys want it? You want it that bad? You want to traumatize this boy that bad? Is that what you want? Oh, you little gremlins. I can't with y'all. You little gremlins, how could you? Alright. Let us go back. Wait. Where were we? I don't like this. Oh no. Oh no. Took a deep, steadying breath to prepare yourself for the conversation. And you just had to figure out how to tell him. Cove, I have something important to tell you. Hey, you wanna know something crazy? Bro, you wanna know something crazy? Cove raised an inquisitive eyebrow at your casual tone, trying to give you his full attention. Maybe? Like what? Stared into his bright ocean eyes. Checking out. Won't tell him. Basically, back when you moved here, first time I met your dad, he was being super creepy. He offered me money to be friends with you. $20. Pretty ridiculous. You laughed lightly at the memory of it, though it trailed off oddly when you realized Cove wasn't laughing with you. Cove sat still. Uncharacteristically, there was an unforgettable expression on his face. His eyes seemed to look through you. He didn't know what to do next. We just traumatized this boy. Relationship with his father will be absolutely destroyed. That's why we're going back after this. Then, without saying a word, Cove stood up from his bed in a single motion and he just bolted right out of the room. Oh no! Traumatized the boy. For a moment, he didn't have a muscle. He didn't move a muscle. We were in shock. This was... Oh no. Sense quickly came back. Shot out into the hall after him. Yay! Drama! Cove! There was no response to your call. Uh-oh. See Cove down the way. He had already sprinted back to the living room. His arms were stuck at its sides and hands slightly balled into fists. I didn't have a muscle. I lost all of my muscle. He might not have been facing you, but you didn't need to see his face to know how he felt. Cove was furious. His parents were nearly finished setting the table. They greeted him, none the wiser of what was about to happen.
Huh?
Hey, what's up? When did you start running in the house? Are you that famished? Who wants to traumatize a poor boy? Umi, how could you? Skylar too! Both of you! How could you? You were able to catch up in full stand near Cove. Parents' words didn't even register in his ears. The child was wholly focused on another matter. He was practically shaking. Cove took one more step forward, glared up at his father's face. You paid 22 to be friends with me? Oh no, I'll take it back. Both of them are so evil, I agree. Both of you, villains, how could you? I've done everything on this game. You've done all possibilities. You traumatized everyone. Skylar just wants to see everyone's lives fall apart and then go back in time. What if I didn't? What if I just let everyone's lives be ruined? Mr. Holden froze. He looked like a helpless deer caught in the headlights. Oh, shit.
Seriously?
Clifford, are you serious? He whipped his head towards Kira, his eyes wide and blinking rapidly. It was only one time. The admission elicited an angst expression from his ex-wife. Mr. Holden raised his hands up to gesture defensively. It seemed like a good idea when it happened. She covered her eyes with one hand. It was clear that her patience was frayed. She was not so shocked anymore. Mr. Holden bowed his head, rubbing the back of his neck guiltily. The fact that she accepted this as something he'd do easily seemed to be the most crushing part. Cove just stood there, fuming silently during their little aside. His eyebrows furrowed painfully and his eyes trembled. Felt so bad for Cove. No, I don't feel bad for him. Felt so bad for yourself. Felt so bad for everybody. Thought this was uncomfortable. This is very uncomfortable. Tried not to get in the way. Maybe that way the others would forget you were even in the room. You're pretty distracted. Finally, for what felt like an eternity, must have been only minutes, tense silence was broken by Cove. He's gonna get taken by his mom. I don't want to stay here. Oh, okay, you called it. That immediately caught his parents' attention. They turned to him with twin expressions of worry. Hey, wait a minute, bud. You don't have to do that.
It's alright.
It's still your room. We'll stay out of your way, I promise. Where could you go at this time of day? It's almost night.
No.
I could stay with 22. Oh, okay. Oh boy. Stormed out of the house without waiting for another response. He jumped as the door slammed closed behind them. He immediately followed after Cove. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Just left you in his house. I guess I should probably go after Cove, right? I don't know. I kind of want to hear what these two have to say. Both parents sighed and deeply in unison once the door was shut. For a handful of seconds, no one spoke again, and Mr. Holden slumped his shoulders, his gaze still lowered. Sorry, Kira. Kira shook her head, though visibly unhappy, seemed more disappointed than angry. I don't want to fight about this. I don't even want to talk about this, honestly. Unless there's anything else I should know that's been going on while I'm away. Stay and replace Cove and his family. You know what? Everything's fine. I'll be your son now. And Cove can be their son. It's fine. We'll just switch families. No, there isn't.
Fine.
And fine. Give Cove some time to calm down. You can try and convince him to come home later. Mr. Holden's mouth tightened, but he nodded in agreement. He seemed defeated. Now you have a creepy dad. Oh no! Mistakes were made! Mistakes were made! Abort! Abort! You shifted your feet, feeling awkward. Kira glanced over at you, her eyes widening, as if she just realized that you were still there. Plan worked out a little too well. Now things were even more uncomfortable.
Alright.
22. Sorry for this. I guess dinner's kind of ruined, huh? Did you go home for now? It wasn't like you had much of a choice, but you nodded anyway, making your way to the front door. Slipped on your shoes without a word. Just as you left, though, Mr. Holden quietly called out to you. I'm real sorry for involving you, 22. Glanced over your shoulder and met his eyes. The smile he offered you was a shadow of the real thing. Where's my dinner? I was promised food. Yeah, and you will pay other people to be your friends. Oh my god. You carefully shut the door behind you, letting out a deep breath. Then you began to walk. Stopped once you reached the middle of the street. You glanced around, but you couldn't see Cove anywhere. Walk it off. You hadn't locked the door, so it was possible he'd gone inside by himself. There's only one way to find out. You made the very brief back and entered your house. Then night had fully come. Cove was indeed there, sat sulkily on your couch, staring at his hands and rested in his lap. Closed the door behind you and approached him, silent. Didn't even get to ponder what to do. Got up and walked a few paces away from you. Two of you stood tensely together in the middle of your living room. The night really hadn't gone as you imagined it would. At least Elizabeth wasn't around. Your moms were out, so you had no idea how you would have explained the situation to them. You were sure Cove wouldn't be up for that. He watched you from a distance. His expression wasn't hostile, but it was not exactly welcoming either. I'm really sorry, Cove. Yeah, I'm sorry. Cove shifted so his back was to you. He crossed his arm over his chest. Hey, it wasn't my fault. We didn't accept the money. Exactly. Are you mad at me? But I didn't even take the money. You were surprised. He actually responded. What? No.
It's okay.
I just wish I'd known before. But I guess there's never really a good time to bring up something like that. You're not the one who did anything. Tone was clipped by and insulting, though it was now fully clear that none of the negativity was toward you. We're actually friends? And we're actually friends, aren't we? Doesn't matter if you took it or not. You wouldn't pretend for years just because of Dad's money. You nod your head furiously at that. There was one thing you didn't want this revelation to do. It was weaken your relationship. Of course we're friends. Both seemed to appreciate your reassurance. Furrow in his brow eased a little. Yeah, we are. Definitely not mad at you. To thank you for not letting him get to you, and for telling me it happened. My dad never would have. He's always like that. He just does things. Doesn't ask or tell me about it or anything. Cove threw his arms out, his features twisted in frustration. There already was the thing with my mom coming to stay with us for the summer out of nowhere. That wasn't supposed to be a surprise I'd find out about. Who knows what other things he's done that I've never heard of? Does he even know how to think about what someone else might actually want? Paused to think, panting breath, scowling. Continued to listen quietly. I get that's true, but he's going about it in the worst possible ways. I had to deal with that, man. His eyes narrowed. It's not even what all of this is. Worst part is, I know he doesn't do stuff for himself. He does things because he wants to make people happy. Both blinked rapidly. You noticed tears were gathering in his eyes. Then he spoke again. His voice was heavy with emotion. But he just makes everything worse. And he's really sorry. It's like it's your fault for not being happy that he was at least trying. And all his plans and always being so pushy did change things. What things? Cove finally met your gaze, found him lip trembling. Realized then that he was referring to you and him. What he did made you stay away from me before we even got to know each other? His voice cracked, and he forced himself to speak through the tears that began to fall in earnest. He did everything he could to say it, but the words were barely a whisper. You were the best thing about coming here. Aw, that's sweet. Cove was honestly terrified over the idea that there was a chance the two of you might not have what you do. That would be terrible. I like Cove. He's so nice. Cringe. Hey, he's having a moment. Let him have his moment. How could you? They're the ones... Umi and Skylar made me do this to him. And now you're being mean. God, Lynn. Stepped forward and rested a hand on his shoulder. You hugged him. He needs a hug. Man needs a hug. Cove readily accepted the embrace. Wrapped his arms around you in return. Grip was firm. Umi and Skylar can't say anything. But it makes us feel closer. You wanted to make him suffer. That is true. You guys did want to make him suffer. Why is everyone being so mean to Cove today? You should do the tell him when you're a child. I mean, I guess we could. Didn't want to tell him. Didn't want to make him suffer. He needs the truth. Well, it's too late now. We're not going that far back. I'm really glad we got to be friends. Yeah, I'm glad we got to be friends. I like you, Cove. You're a good kid. Wait. His features crumbled at your words. You couldn't tell exactly what his expression was. It seemed a mix between relief and sorrow. He sniffled. Me too. He ran into our arms. Aww. Sounds manipulative? What do you mean, sounds manipulative? Who's being manipulative? What are you talking about? You remained like that for just a little while. Then he scrubbed his eyes with the back of his hand. His gaze turned away from you, growing distant. It's like that with my mom, too. Anger he had begun to release bubbled back into the surface. I told him as a child. Oh, wonder how that went. Dad wants to make people happy, but he doesn't. The words landed scantily hard. You were certain it'd crush Mr. Holden if he heard them. Never known much about his parents' relationship, but you thought you understood it a bit better now. I'm sorry, don't actually mean what you're saying. Do you hate your dad? Because I hate your dad. Most people hate your dad. He's creepy. He's a weird dude. You would hope to get him to run into your arms. What? No! That is not what this is about. How could... No! I swear we're not toxic. I swear we're not toxic. Didn't know he would, though. I didn't know that. Cove just looked at the ground. Two of you were stifled by the quiet. Thought came to your mind, abrupt and sudden. What about your fish? What about your fish? Remember that day when it happened? Ran to the hills behind the house. Mr. Holden waited for you to come back while my mom's checked the park for you. That was when I met you for the first time, after he talked to me about you. Cove lifted his eyes just enough to see you. His head remained low. I remember, too, when we first moved to Sunset Bird. It felt like I lost my whole life. Maybe that's why he wanted to help you start a life here so much. You do want to know about the fish. Of course. There's a whole ass boy crying in front of you. Having, like, the worst time of his fucking life. And he's just like, yeah, but what about the fish? Oh my god. His eyebrows scrunched up. He seemed on the verge of tears once more. It was obvious Cove didn't want to think about his dad that way. It was also hard not to right now. Must be conflicted over where to go from here. Dad still needs to stop being so forceful, though. If you try to make up with your dad, now's not the time to make up. You guys really need to learn how to communicate. I agree. You guys need to learn how to talk. I'll be on your side no matter what you do about your dad. Okay, I think we should also encourage Cove's dad to communicate. I'm on his side. No matter what he wants to do, I'm on his side. Cove smiled thoughtfully. He didn't say anything. Which I had a feeling he had appreciated the support. I'll talk to my mom and dad when they come. I know they will. Cove also needs to communicate. Yeah, he does, but he's the child. He is the child, still learning how to be a human. Hate your dad and live with us. No, it's fine. You can live here. You're fine. Mom said I couldn't have a pet, but I think they'll make an exception for you. Family has communication issues. His face was set in determination. There's no way you could tell him to do anything else, even if you wanted to. So only nodded.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, 22. Sorry about all this. With a sigh, he walked over the couch and sat down, his arms wrapped around himself. He watched him. I did get an achievement. Yay. What was your pet? I guess so. Now. Finally get a pet. Yay. We finally get a pet. Yay. You watched him. You knew you couldn't leave him alone, because you also had trouble figuring out what to do. You want me to turn the TV on? Want something to eat and drink? Yeah, we missed out on dinner. Water would be good. Got him a glass of water from the kitchen, accepted it gratefully, and sipped at it, his gaze tired. About 20 minutes must have passed. Then there came a knock on the door. Cove slowly turned his head towards it. It's gotta be them. Yeah. He considered answering. Cove stood from his seat first. He opened it without any hesitation. From over his shoulder, he spied his parents in the doorway. Cove, hi. How are you feeling, baby? I can go home now. Without another word, he walked past them. They let him pass before trading glances, looking equal parts surprised and concerned. They moved their eyes further to the house, right at you. You can never leave. Should I come? I kind of want to see how this comes out. Kind of want to see what happens. I don't... Miss Holden was at a loss. To your relief, Kira gestured over her way with a hand, smiled carefully. You were invited. Yay! Quickly went over to where they were. I'm really just being nosy. I probably shouldn't be here. This is a personal matter now, but I want to see how this plays out. Trap Cove in a box. No, we'll keep him in a little box. He'll be fine. Dad loses. Cove's dad always loses, as he should, because he's a creepy fucking dude. Quickly went over to where they were. Closed the front door behind you. Two of you rushed after Cove, followed right behind him. Three of you crossed the street and walked through the open door. Cove was there, waiting. His arms were crossed protectively in front of himself. He met his parents' gazes evenly. I can talk to you now. Parents looked over him, their features soft. Cove instead stuck a glance at you. You were glad you could be there for him. He stared back solidly, hoping you could convey your support with your eyes. Must have worked, as Cove stood up a bit straighter. See, it's good that we came. Cove then fully faced his parents. Mr. Holden stepped forward cautiously, his expression twisting in dismay. I'm so sorry. Should never have done something so stupid. It's okay. Really isn't. It really isn't. That was a boneheaded move, if there was one. I was bribing an actual child. I'm bribing a tiny little bot to be your friend, one I never even met before that day. Yeah, guys, don't give strange little bots your money. Cove almost cracked a smile, though he quickly regained his composure. And it isn't, but I want things to be okay anyway.
I'm sorry.
Cove, I'm sorry. Kira placed a hand on Mr. Holden's shoulder. Your dad doesn't believe there's something wrong with you, that you can't make your own friends. He can explain. I know, Dad, why Dad did it. He wanted me to be happy, that's all. He didn't think I'd be like this. It was an accident. Kira sighed heavily. A sad smile appeared on her lips. Very grown-up, Cove. Mr. Holden brought his hands up against his forehead and began to pace around the room. He didn't seem to know what to do with himself. Oh, Dad wasn't careful. He would have taken everything he owned. I absolutely would. Be like, really? Only $20? Be friends with your son? You're gonna need to sweeten this deal. What about being a bot? You change your parts as you grow? Like a robot movie? What? No. I change parts as they need to be changed. If anything breaks, I change it. Really, the whole thing is like upgrades. Sometimes I'll get new parts because, like completely new things because there's an upgrade. But I don't do it unless I need to. Do you do that? Do you change parts to grow? Is that how you work, Umi? Wow, everyone's so different. No. Okay. Can I get upgraded, 22? You want me to get upgraded? I'm already pretty advanced. I don't know what to upgrade to. There's no upgrades available right now. I'm pretty advanced as is. I change bodies. Wait, you change your body altogether? I don't know how I feel about, like, constantly changing bodies. That's too much. That's too much, man. I've grown pretty attached to this body. I want to take care of the body. I don't want to switch it out. I like this body. Sometimes parts needs to be changed out, but, you know, I like it all in all. How often do you change bodies? That's a good question. Umi lore. See me on streams. Oh, you just change it out immediately. Every time you switch bodies, I change all the time. Oh, so you're just indecisive. You just like to have all of the options. That's what it is. You can't pick one body. Change bodies like you change outfits. Umi doesn't have a closet of clothes. She has a closet of bodies. Umi's closet is filled with empty bodies. She figures out which one she wants at the time. Oh, that's fun, Umi lore. I didn't know that. I thought you just changed your appearance. Do you still regret telling Cove? Yes, I regret it. We're going back. Umi does buy new bodies all the time. Why? Alright, you think we shouldn't? You think we should leave it as is? Alright. He's growing. He's growing, but they were so... Alright, alright. Growing is good. We didn't make him do it out of his free will. Alright. Alright. Alright, we'll leave it. But imagine if it broke the family. Imagine if you guys broke up this family. You would feel no shame about it either. Well, I mean, they're also already kind of broken, so... It won't. Umi doesn't give a shit. Umi's just like, good. I hope it breaks them up. But anyway, they're already broken. It's already a broken family, so I guess we can't make it any worse. Because you understand why his dad is psycho. Dad, I understand why you're creepy as fuck. You tried to pay a tiny little bot to be my friend. You tried to give a tiny bot 20 bucks. That's not a good look, Dad. It's a wholesome game, people. The first thing that happens in this game is some creepy old dude hands me money. How wholesome can this game be? You're learning to communicate. Is it wholesome? I'm not sure about that. Everyone keeps pushing me to date. I swear, if there's any hand-holding in this game, I will be so grossed out. I don't want that smut with a yandere mom. With a yandere mom. This isn't wholesome. She keeps trying to take out our spleen. Turn back around to face Cove and Kira. You look more solemn than you ever seen him. I'm not going to do it again. I haven't done it again. I haven't tried to bribe more people, or I haven't continued to step over a line without registering it. Both. He let out a heavy breath before shrinking down a little. It was impressive, because he was pretty tall.
I'm trying.
I don't know, but I don't think so. Cove's throat bobbed as he swallowed thickly. It looked like he was trying to gather all his courage. When he spoke up, his voice was small but firm. You invited Mom here. His dead eyes widened. Cove was ready to have a talk. He had put off before. The game sounds sus with the other love interests, like how are they problematic? Wait, me? I made them sound sus? Won't spoil. Okay, we won't. No spoilers. Let's be surprised. Umi. Oh yeah, Umi did say that. Okay. Let's find out. Let's find out why this is a problem. You didn't ask me if I wanted things to be like this. Both of you together again for just a little while. Mr. Holden's hand slowly returned to his forehead. He was stunned, as if someone had just hit him. Did it again. Did it again, and I didn't even notice. What's wrong with me? Why can't I just do something right? Not everything is about me? What are you talking about? How? How's everything not about me? How could that be possible? Now the long put off talk is happening. Oh, fine. We'll fix this family. God. We'll play therapist. At least Cove seemed relieved that he was able to say what he felt. Just knew how long he'd been holding that in. Quiet for a long stretch. Mr. Holden had sat down in a chair. Shoulders drooped, his head in his hands. He looked at Cove. He watched his dad. Not genuinely, he was struggling with what he had been told. Cove glanced down at the ground, then looked back to his dad. Everything is about me? That's right. You better recognize, Lynn. No, of course not. I know not everything's about me. Yeah, exactly. Why are we playing therapist? We're like 12, 13? Why are we being a therapist right now? Not angry anymore. Slowly, Mr. Holden met his son's eyes. For content. We're playing therapist for content. I can try to talk to you about things. What I feel about stuff. I stopped saying that to you. Since everything happened, I didn't want to talk to you, but you won't have to guess if you know. Mr. Holden broke eye contact at that, shaking his head. My child shouldn't have to take care of me. Shouldn't have to make up for my shortcomings. Go. I could fix things. I could still change. After having something of an outburst, Mr. Holden turned his face away and spoke more guardedly. Besides, I'm used to that already. I might not get it right, but not a damn thing would happen in what's left of this family if I wasn't making the effort. It's always me. What's one more thing to manage? Dad.
I see.
You're right, Cliff. I know. But I don't think Cove wants to take care of you. He just wants to understand. He wants his dad to understand too. That's what matters, isn't it? Should have gotten the therapist when they split. Yeah. Would have been nice. But again, early 2000s. I don't think anyone really did that. Oh no, they split in the 90s. No. Yeah, we were very young. They split in the 90s. That's Kira's wig. That'll break the tension, alright. Still, as Mr. Holden's disgusted what Kira said, stared down at his empty hands held out in front of him. When he looked at Cove again, tiny tears glimmered in the corners of his eyes. He got up and crossed the room to his son. Cove didn't move or look away as he approached. Mr. Holden set his hands on Cove's shoulders, touched firm, furrowed his brows. Bud, you and I are going to talk about every single thought that has ever popped into our heads the rest of your life. Okay, maybe not every single thought. He took Cove forward back a bit. Tears slipped down Cove's cheeks, but he was smiling. Aw. No, I don't want that. Mr. Holden began to smile too. trembled at the corners, but it was genuine. I'm afraid that's the only way. Kira chuckled. Even as she blinked away her own tears, Miss Holden turned toward her. You better not be thinking you can get away from this, Kira. Same is gonna apply to you. You can't! He let go of Cove with one hand while he placed the other arm around Cove's shoulders, and he faced Kira. Oh, yes I can. It's not good. See? Everything is fine. Thank you, Umi. But what if everything wasn't fine? We didn't know that. You're the only one who knew that. He continued to talk as he walked in her direction, bringing Cove along with him. Ah, look at that happy family. Then, father and son were standing in front of her. Mr. Holden put his other arm around her. Now he had both of them in his arms. If you think the ideas that I actually go with are bad, you are going to be amazed by the thoughts I decide against all on my own. Kira jokingly cringed at the concept, but smiled tearfully up at his parents. Thanks, Dad.
I'm so glad.
Thank you, son. But hey, you know what I'm thinking now? Cove, wiping his face with the back of his hand, shook his head. I hope you're thinking about dinner. I'm hungry. God, no. You're an incomprehensible maniac. Mr. Holden laughed, not disputing her words. I'm thinking we should eat that dinner. Painstakingly made. It's salvageable. Just gotta heat it back up. Kira sighed in exaggerated relief. That we can manage. Right, Cove? Yeah. Great. We're making progress already. Well. Though, I don't even know how I'm going to start making this up to 22. Carrying that secret for all this time must have been quite the burden to bear. Plus, he didn't actually get any money out of the deal. He didn't even take the 20. I'm not mad about it or anything. It's a hard time for your family. I thought it was funny. That's why I said it. Either way, I, or we, will work on it. Okay. Cove ducked his head and spoke towards you. There was a tiny smile on his face. You want to stay for dinner still? Absolutely! I'm hungry. And moms aren't home. So, we need food. I'd love to. Mr. Holden finally let go of his family. Kira patted him on the back with a content sigh. You're very good, boys. I'm so lucky. Cove shyly rubbed his arm, while Mr. Holden nervously rubbed his neck. Neither could make eye contact out of bashfulness. In that moment, they really did seem like father and son. Cove's family was nice. You thought of to yourself. You were glad that you got to come over. Also, he owes us 20 bucks. So, now that you're all patched up, about that 20 bucks. That's not fair. We never get our money. Fine. I did not expect all that coming from dinner. Alright. Wants to take a trip to the mall. Wait, no. Not for being friends, but for the therapy. No, I'm not taking the money for being friends with your son. But I will send you a bill for all the therapy you just got. That's gonna be a much higher bill. I'll charge way more than 20 bucks for all that. Alright. Let's do a Derek. How about we do a Derek? Responsible? No. We are the most responsible. Gotta get like 200. I just mended your family. You owe me at least $200. Siblings. Let's do the boardwalk. I want to see the boardwalk. Yay, boardwalk. It was early morning, but the day was already buzzing with excitement. Your whole family was gathered together with all 5 Suarezes in their cozy living room. Today, you were all making a trip out to Boardwalk Set Park. It was a regular enough outing for Derek's family, but it would be your first time going. Boardwalk was a few hours away, and was even further when setting out from Sunset Bird. That's why the adults decided on the meetup here at Suarez's apartment, instead of gathering at the boardwalk itself. Derek's back! Yay, Derek! It gave your moms a little break from driving, where everyone got their last chance to run out for the bathroom. You would be leaving very soon. While you waited for the trip to officially start, you sat on the couch with your hands in your lap. For a few minutes now, tried to keep track of what the group gathered around the kitchen counter were up to. Elizabeth, your mom, Mrs. Suarez were all busily making preparations for what you could tell. Meanwhile, Mr. Suarez had his hands full, rounding up 2 youngest kids. It seemed that they were taking an anti-shoe stance that morning. In Nicholas's case, he needed to be talked into wearing a shirt too. This is why you kick your problems in the head. If you had kicked the children in the head, they would definitely have did what you wanted them to. Went inside Derek's house before we saw Cove's. That's actually funny. That would be amusing. There's no way, right? Been friends for years. On the cushion next to you, Derek was pumped for what the boardwalk had to offer. He was rambling a mile a minute about all the fun stuff he couldn't wait to show you. I'm excited about it. Yeah, let's go. Bouncing your leg, you struggled to contain your energy. You're just as eager to experience everything as he described. This journey was also the first time you and Derek's families were doing a big activity together. You couldn't believe it originally when the adults went through the organizing trip.
Let's go.
Kids, come and join us in the kitchen. Time to pack your treat bags.
Cool.
Sweet. Playing off the couch, you didn't have the faintest idea of what Mrs. Suarez meant, but you were summoned, so you followed Derek's lead. He turned to say something over his shoulder. Guess that line must have been confusing to a newcomer. Snack bags are what we do for larger trips. Me and my brothers, and you and Elizabeth too. We get to fill little plastic baggies with sweets and stuff we want. It's supposed to be for eating during the hours-long drive, but no one really cares if we snack. Just so we have something if we need it. Oh, I like that. It's really nice. We should do that. We should always have snacks on hand.
Same.
Moms, can we do that? I think so too. Great to have one on hand. As you reach the kitchen, Elizabeth breathed past you with your mom's following a more relaxed pace. Derek raised a skeptical brow, pointed in her direction with his thumb. Doesn't she want a bag? Elizabeth stopped and spun around on her heel. Surprised, Derek pulled his hands back to his side. Elizabeth's lips curled into an all-too-pleased smirk. Heh,
What?
you're in, Mrs. Suarez. She called for the kids to come. Oh, get out of here! You're like, what, 2 years older than us? Shut up. Mom shook her head at Elizabeth's taunting display. Your sister stepped forward and held up a zip bag that you hadn't noticed before. I already got mine while we were getting things set up for the rest of you. Ha 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 ha. Her bag was full of dried fruits and chocolate chips. She teasingly dangled it in front of your face, and then Derek's. Uh-huh, very mature, Elizabeth. You're not one of the kids at all. Exactly. Child. You were the biggest child here. Snickered at her. Rolled your eyes. Yeah, I'm snickering. Tee-hee. Elizabeth withdrew her treat bag. She watched you suspiciously while you composed yourself. It's nice to see you excited about snack time again. Not mom roasting her kid. That is her privilege. That's a mom's privilege to roast your kid. Snorted and gave you the most indignant stare. Mom leaned into mom, trying to stifle her giggles. Everyone's gotta eat. Exactly. The children need to eat. After that, she left the kitchen and plopped down your old spot on the couch. Mom's joined her, putting Elizabeth in the middle. Ma comfortingly patted Elizabeth's leg. Who isn't excited about snacks? Exactly. That never stops, no matter what age you are. Everyone wants snacks. Glancing back towards the kitchen, George and Nicholas were finally dressed. They dashed ahead of you. They excitedly crowded around their mom's legs. Now, don't forget that bag actually has to be able to close it for it to count. She began passing out baggies to her 2 youngest. Then Mrs. Suarez turned to you and winked. That's my one rule for the treat bags. But other than that, feel free to go crazy. Nicholas and George took that as their cue to rush to the counter, lined with tasty options, started stuffing their bags. Miss Suarez handed you and Derek your own plastic baggies. Now, it was in your hand to realize that it was the smallest zip bag size. There's no way you were going to get a little bit of everything. In my experience, you can fit about 4 handfuls of stuff before it starts getting too tough to close. I'll give in to strategize then, think. The younger boys swiftly finished selecting their road trip treats. George's bag closed easily, while Nicholas's was proving a challenge to squeeze shut. Plastic was ballooned out in the sides, entirely full of cookies and candy. Brow pinched as he struggled with the zip. To everyone's surprise, Nicholas got at the seal. Charlie held the bag up for his mom's inspection. Impressed, he nodded. It closed. Therefore, he wins. Don't forget to take the water bottle, too. Don't want to lose anyone dehydration today. Speak for yourself. I wouldn't mind some people getting dehydrated and dying. That'd be fun. That'd make for a fun road trip. Two boys held the prizes tightly, grabbed the water bottles off the edge of the counter on their way to get out of the kitchen. Your turn now that the buffet was spread was delicious. One of my favorite snacks? Peanuts and chocolate chips. Whoa. How did I get that? Peanuts and chocolate chips. That needs to happen. Fruit gummies? Dried mangoes. Maybe some dried mangoes. Sunflower seeds. I love sunflower seeds. I do love sunflower seeds. Shortbread cookies. Sandwich cookies. Dried cranberries. I'm going with shortbread cookies. Enjoy. Yee. We're good. Got it. Dried mangoes are the best. I missed out on the dried mangoes. Couldn't fit anymore. Humming happily, you ran your hand across the side of the plastic baggie. We were grateful for your haul. You proudly showed it to Derek. Gave you a thumbs up.
I got you.
Variety is the spice of life. Closed his bag, and realized it was completely full of a bunch of different things too. Chuckling, gently poked the straining sides of his plastic baggie. Yes, it is. Derek leaned across the counter of water bottles, slid one over for you to take, and grabbed one for himself too. Okay, close up the packs then. You can leave this out here for now. Hello! How are you? Welcome in. Gonna get some dried mangoes later. Go for it. We need snacks. Bearhoff, hello. Welcome to snack time. Welcome, Angela. I keep forgetting. You're so irregular here. But I'm glad you're here, Angela. I have to write down who's who. Okay, I'll close up the packs then. We'll leave this out here for now.
Is that fine?
We don't have any more time to lose. Are we all ready? Several voices called back, answering yes. Suarez raised an eyebrow, walked out of the kitchen. Doing alright. On my work break. Well, I'm glad you decided to join us for your work break. I'm glad you decided to join us for snack time. How are you doing? How's work? I assume it's work. Also, why are you working on the weekend? I say, as someone who needs to work on the weekend. I also have to go to work today, and I don't want to. I just want to stay here and hang out with you guys. But that's not allowed. No one needs to go potty? No. George has a face! I didn't think we were gonna get to see a face. Band work on weekends. As you should.
No.
I'll have to go potty. Nicholas also has a face. Huh. Didn't expect that.
Good.
Good. Anyone have questions before we go? Put her hands on her hips and glanced around at the apartment. Mr. Suarez raised his hands just as he caught her eye. I'd like to know how we will arrange the rides. There's room for 5 in the back of our car, and room for 3 in the model car.
What do you think?
There's room to switch who's bringing who. There's a want for it. Oh, glad you brought that up. Elizabeth and 22 are welcome to ride with us. Or Derek can feel free to go with Pamela and Noelani. Nicholas and George are staying in our van, though. Frustrated, both Marler boys pounded at their exclusion. George's jaw clenched as crossed his arms. Very good question. Get back to you on that. It's fine. Just enjoy the ride for now. I'm not a baby. Or I gotta stay in the van. I'm not a baby. Nicholas, you know you still need a booster seat. Can't put that in their car. Mr. Suarez chuckled at Nicholas's angry grumbling as he passed by to the kitchen, aiming to pick up the remaining snacks. Mr. Suarez sighed in a tickled but still long-suffering way. Dad and I need you there to stay awake for such a long drive. Will you two please keep us company in the car ride? Releasing a deep breath, George nodded. He knew this wasn't the day his mom was going to relent. Nicholas, on the other hand, continued to pout. Okay, Mom. Well, what do you think, Lonnie?
That's fine.
Either way is fine with me. Let's take kids to decide which they prefer. Work is indeed work. Though, boring. I'll get paid on the 5th. That's the important part. You made money. Money is the important part. As long as you're getting paid, everything's good. I'll stick with Mom's. She then curiously shifted her attention to you. The corner of her mouth pulled into a smirk, because she knew that you and your friend were the ones the whole decision was for. Derek leaned in close to you, cupping a hand to one side of his mouth so you could only hear him. 22, what are you thinking? Money is nice. Money is nice. Everyone should get some. Everyone, just go take some money. Go find someone and take their money. Money's great. Makes sense for everyone to ride with their parents. No, I want to ride with the Suarezes. I want to go hang out with them. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's rob a bank. Yeah, let's do it. Who's in? Can I get a yes in the chat if you're in? Let's go! All right, bank robbing stream. Welcome to 22's bank robbing stream. Yes, that's awesome. He threw a triumphant fist into the air. Mons giggled happily at this cheer. Be good for the Suarezes. It'll be a long walk home if you're not. She gave a playful wink, looking far too pleased with her own joke. Ma shook her head.
Let's go.
Okay, now that's settled. We'll see you there. Yes, we need money to take over the world. Skylar's in. Angela, are you in too? You ready to knock over a bank?
Take care.
See you soon, sweetie.
Oh,
Hold on. One last thing. One more thing. Rob every bank? Wow, that's arson to cover the trail? Angela, you're a genius. Why didn't I think of it? Money's already so flammable. We'll just take a bunch of money, burn the rest of it, and that'll burn down the whole bank. You know, you guys are geniuses. Knew there was a reason I kept you around. We got this. Our plans are perfect. Flawless. Absolutely flawless plans. You little gremlins. Not burning the money. Well, we can't take all of it. We stuff the bags, full to the brim. It's a bank. They have so much money. We stuff as much as we can in the bags, and then we get out, burn whatever's left. Listen, I know you want to try and take all of the money, but let's not be greedy. We need some of it to burn down the building. Miss Suarez went over to your mom's and quickly went into some last-minute advice on the directions. While you waited, you noticed out of the corner of your eye that Mr. Suarez had moved from nibbling at the snacks. Instead, you caught him passing George and Nicholas an extra cookie each. Genuine cheer came back to both of their expressions. Use vacuum to collect the money fast? But money! Aw, okay, Umi. We'll take all the money. How can I say no to Umi? Like Team Rocket? Yes. We're gonna do Team Rocket. We're gonna do a Team Rocket plan. Just hopefully there's not a tiny electric mouse in our way. As long as there's no tiny electric rats, we'll be fine. And they were so thrilled about the secret cookies that their earlier bitterness about being babies was all sweetened out. And that was that. Snacks and drinks were set. No one needed to go potty. The riddles were arranged, directions were obtained, and it was finally time to get to the trip started. Lynn's making us costumes? Sweet! I got dibs on Meowth. Two families lift the condo behind, chatting with eagerness for the day's activities. The parking lot, groups split up to get to different cars. Followed Derek into his parents' minivan. Buckling up, he settled in for the long haul. Here we go. Suarez's minivan was a full house. Mr. Suarez hopped behind the wheel with his wife sitting shotgun. She bent back to double-check that Nicholas was fully strapped into the car seat behind her. Derek, of course, had to sit in the open seat in the second row. Left you and George to take control of the way back. I guess I'm a cat boy now. First off, I'm not a cat boy, I'm a Pokemon. I'm a Pokemon. Meowth, that's right. Do I have to do the accent? What kind of accent does Meowth have? It's like Brooklyn? Some sort of vague New York accent. Mrs. Suarez's brow furrowed with frustration. Or maybe Boston? Does he have like a Bostonian accent? You have to do his voice. Yeah! You gonna knock over this bank, see? I have no idea. I'm not sure if I'm doing that correctly. What was I talking about? Mrs. Suarez's brow furrowed with frustration. Once again, came a battle. The wiggling 6-year-old fought against her attempts to tighten the car seat's front straps. Once she succeeded, Miss Suarez brushed the hair that fell forward behind her ear, turned into the rest of you with a lighter expression. Are we all ready? Yes. Yeah, Mom. Yep, all set.
Very good.
Good. She made sure Nicholas was secured one last time before getting herself situated properly. You heard the click of her seatbelt, and then Mrs. Suarez shifted her attention this time to the last row of seats. So nice to have you here, 22. Thanks for having me. Of course, all of us are happy for the added company. Now that everyone was settled in, the car roared to life and Mr. Suarez pulled out into the road. Out of habit, he reached over and clicked the CD player on. Upbeat children's music loudly filled the car. Squealing with excitement, Nicholas started kicking his feet to the beat of the song. Next to you, George leaned an elbow in the car door and rested his chin on the palm of his hand. There was a faint smile tugging the corner of his mouth. He settled in to stare out the window. Caught Derek's green-eyed gaze peeking at you from the space between the headrest and the backrest of the seat. You waved at him. Derek moved out of sight, but only to twist around in the seat to talk to you directly.
It's all good.
Thanks for coming with us on the drive. Hey, we free to see the boardwalk. It'd be so fun! You only got as far as opening your mouth when Nicholas erupted into a stream of loud cheers. The young boy threw both of his arms in the air, and Derek ducked in his seat, clearly embarrassed. Woo! Where are we going again? Boardwalk. We're going to a boardwalk. I'm sorry, I got so distracted by bank robbing hijinks I completely forgot what we were doing. Nicholas's outburst didn't surprise you one bit. A tiny chuckle escaped Derek as he slowly slid his gaze back over to you. Bank walk. Yes, we're going to a bank walk. Sorry about that, 22. The whole drive is probably going to be this rowdy. I don't mind. You joined the celebration, telling about the day's plans. Let's head out the window. Look. All three brothers immediately jumped in to tell you all about their favorite places, which rides they consider to be the coolest. Even Derek's parents chimed in with their favorite spots to visit. Ooh, this'll be fun. Later during the drive, Nicholas let out a gleeful squeal. You were confused at first, but what managed to get the reaction out of him. But soon it became clear. Get notifications for other streams on Twitch. You follow other people on Twitch? How dare. How dare you people follow other people? How could you? The betrayal. Ugh, the betrayal. Nicholas remembered he had an entire baggie of snacks. Something else? The voice actor is from New Jersey. I assume that the accent would be from the area. Could be. Is that a Jersey? That's Jersey-ish. I guess it's Jersey-ish. Yeah. I don't know. It's some weird mix of, like, Jersey, Boston going on there. triumphantly pulled it out of his pocket and started munching away at all the tasty treats inside. For once, George followed Nicholas's lead and relaxed into a chill snack time. George munched away while watching the world pass by out his window. Derek, on the other hand, simply rested back in his seat with his arms behind his head. Sorry to have some snacks too. No, I'm gonna have some snacks. It's snack time. All it took was one look around your stomach. Felt envious. You pulled your zip baggie out and decided to treat yourself to a handful too. Why did you make it cover the where your type to trick you into going into other... What? Oh, they're trying to trick you into going to the other streams. They want you stream hopping. After Nicholas had devoured every crumb and licked every bit of sugar from his fingers, he was ready to play again. And so, the ride continued on a blasting beat of classic kindergarten tunes with the fun road trip games. Give someone else control of the music, God. Despite the trip supposedly taking hours, it didn't feel long until you noticed the first sign of your destination. Caged into the stream. Yes, everyone get in the cage. You're stuck here. No one's going anywhere. With building anticipation, caught the first flashes of tall rides in the distance. Both families pulled into the parking lot. Kids excitedly bounced out of the cars. Parents cheerfully waved at each other as the groups closed the distance between them. With everyone regrouped, families strolled into the boardwalk. Your eyes widened. The place was even more amazing than you'd imagined. It was like you stepped into a bright world of color. There were shops displaying various beach towels and boogie boards, decorated with either popular cartoon characters or tropical flowers. Yes, everyone gets in the cage. Lynn, it's just during the streams. You only have to share during the streams. It's fine. How did I get here? Umi, you ask way too many questions. You're asking way too many questions right now. It was like you stepped into a bright world of color. Wait, I already read that. Shush. Clothing stalls had racks of sundresses, cover-ups, and swimwear in every pattern imaginable. Ahead, make out the colorful tufts of stuffed animals from the prize boards. Lynn's not sharing the cage. Lynn refuses to share the cage. Oh, fine. Won't keep people in your cage. Okay. Just get back in the cage. Let me out. Umi, the door's unlocked. You're not locked in the cage. It's fine. Darts, ring toss, skee ball, more waited further down the boardwalk. Music filled the air, but when you listened closely, you could make out so much more. There were various cheers and shouts of victory, joy, fear. Sorry, but gotta go. It's over. Alright, Angela. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate you coming by. I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed it. Catch you later. Screams had to be coming from the massive wooden roller coaster that poured beyond the stalls. From what you could tell already, this boardwalk was easily 5 times the scale of the entire shopping street Sunset Bird. Damn, this place is huge. Nope, I don't live in a cage anymore. Wait, so does that mean everyone gets your Gundams and Mikus? That's what it sounds like. You abandoned all your Gundams and Mikus and just left the cage? Gonna live in the gas station. Yes. Aww. Len, you can have your cage back. It's fine. You loved it? You preferred your own town shoreside tourist trap? Shoreside tourist trap. I mean, that's one way to put it. Nah, I love it. Love the big open areas. A bunch of stores. It's exhilarating, keeping the scope of the boardwalk in. You're going to implode if you didn't start exploring soon. The group began navigating down the wooden boards. The Sward hastily grabbed into Nicholas's arm for safekeeping. And just in time, too. Bustling mood of the area had Nicholas raring to go. He wanted to see, play, and explore every inch. Fortunately, poor parents were just not as energetic as the hyper 6-year-old. With an affectionate shake of her head, the Suarez struggled to hold on to Nicholas's tiny hand. He attempted to sprint ahead. Irene, why not let the children go?
What?
Huh?
Will that be fine?
This child here, and the rest of them, sure they'd rather enjoy the park on their own, and at their own pace. They'd be safe with each other. She carefully weighed the scenarios in her mind while Nicholas was too busy trying to forcibly move her forward to notice the important conversation happening. Mom shared a glance. I'd be alright with that, as long as nobody left the boardwalk. It's large, but not too large. Kids are getting older, and they've earned a little freedom from our all-seeing eyes. From Mom's all-seeing eyes. Mom's paying attention. Mom's always watching. Mom's always plotting. Okay, adults and kids get to have their own day at the boardwalk. Got both Elizabeth and Derek perking up. This was clearly a sign of a perfect day ahead for the two. Then Mrs. Suarez passed Nicholas off to her husband for a moment. He motioned for the older kids to circle closer to her.
No more.
No more treats for Nicholas. I had enough candy and cookies for the day. Counting on you to keep to that. Mrs. Suarez over there can't be trusted. Oops. Stood up straighter and looked away from his wife, saying that he had no idea what she was talking about. Her knowing smile cracked into a lighthearted laugh. He admired the way her eyes sparkled, teasing her husband. He moved her attention back to the rest of you. Both George and Elizabeth gave her confident nods.
I'm on it.
You've got this, Mom. Derek answered with an added thumbs up. Suarez proudly beamed, letting her gaze go between the boys. Let's go without Nicholas. We aren't babysitters. I agree, we're not babysitters. Leave them. They'll figure it out themselves. Why is everyone crying in the cage? The door is open. Just get out of the cage. Derek's right. We got this. I don't remember signing up to be a babysitter. Oh, speaking of getting things, I have some money on hand for me and my brothers. Will you and Elizabeth be able to buy ride tickets and knickknacks or any of that sort of stuff? I already walked out. Good. Wait, is that thing not crying? Am I looking at it wrong? I thought that thing was crying. I thought the emoji? The emoticon? I thought the little thing was crying. It's not. Well, then I'm just blind. The problem is I'm blind. I thought the thing was crying the entire time. I get confused, guys. We already knew that. Blind bot. I need to fix my, I need to fix my eyes. I need replacement eyes. Not the pocket change is gonna be enough or anything. I remembered my wallet. Yeah, I remembered my wallet. Comfortably put your hands on your hips. Unimpressed, Elizabeth rolled her eyes. Good for you.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. We're gonna spend money on you two today anyways. There's no harm if we let you have it. Besides, I get to go on trips like this every day. Go a little wild. Exactly. Want you to be able to do things here. It's fine. I got 20 bucks from Mr. Holden. I got 200 bucks for being a therapist. I got this. I got my own money. Mom dug into her purse and then she pulled out a handful of bills. Carefully counted out $15 and handed it to Elizabeth. Sister was unimpressed at the amount and recounted the bills herself. Mom handed you your own $15 next. You probably chuckled to yourself. Couldn't help but think about how probably would have been 20 if Mr. Holden was there. Therapist money. I got therapist money. Come on. Come on. Didn't need more than this. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Moms.
All right.
We're all set then. Meet again here at 8 p.m. in front of this first stall. Suarez took her youngest arm and crouched down into his level. Brushed some stray hairs out of his face. Go and stay with your brothers today. Be good for them. Mr. Holden only gave both 10. That was like 10 years ago. Come on. I mean, less than 10 years ago. You're so rich. I'm freaking rich. Our therapy practice has been going real well. Just tend to share. Oh, that's right. We had to share that 10 bucks. With an eager nod, Nicholas bolted over to Derek, clung to his jeans. Derek laughed at the sudden weight, and he put his hands firmly on the younger boy's shoulders, just in case he decided to run off. The two sets of parents disappeared in the crowd, moving toward the nearby stores. Standing on your tiptoes, you felt your moms waving goodbye one last time, but they were completely out of sight. Finally, we're alone. Get them out of here. Elizabeth's fun in a circle, finding all the things you might want to try. Plus, Dream deemed the boardwalk to be cool because she was cheerier by the second. Eventually, her gaze returned to you, the Suarez brothers. It was clear that her daydreams crashed back to reality. Next to her, George walked up to his tiptoes and then back down. Catching your eye, stopped, nervously inched a little bit closer to Derek. Must feel awkward for a little kid to have two new additions to what was usually a special family affair. You offered him a smile, but tried not to stare at him. You were so eager to get going already. The clock was ticking, and you didn't want to miss a single activity. Alright guys, I know I'm in the middle of this adventure, but I'm tapping out. My voice is tapping out. So I'm gonna call it here. Thank you guys for coming. It's been fun. You are the biggest little gremlins I could ever have. I appreciate each and every one of you. So with that, bye guys. Take care of yourselves, and have a good day. Lynn, I said have a good day. Do it.